Matchday 5 in LaLiga EA Sports came to a close on Monday night with Rayo Vallecano playing at home against Osasuna. Despite a bright start to the campaign, Rayo Vallecano went into this one having lost their last two LaLiga fixtures and looking for their first 3 points on home soil. Osasuna were travelling to the capital having only lost one of their opening 4 games, but their only away game so far this season ended 4-0 away to Girona. There was a lot of expectation ahead of kickoff as James Rodriguez was in the matchday squad for the first time since joining Rayo Vallecano. But it was Osasuna who had the first chance of the game. Brian Zaragoza with a shot from outside the box, but shooting straight into the hands of his former teammate at Granada in Augusto Batalla, who was making his debut in goal for Rayo Vallecano. Sergio Camello was the man leading the line for the hosts, and he forced a save out of Sergio Herrera and the first corner of the matchup after building up the play following a pass from Álvaro García. Rayo Vallecano lost 2-1 at home to Barcelona in their one and only home game ahead of this game. They were looking to impress the home faithful. Raúl García was the man leading the line for Osasuna as Ante Budimir was starting on the bench. Raúl García was not given a penalty in this instant, which led to Brian Zaragoza being booked for arguing with the referee, obviously disagreeing with the decision. Tussle there between Raúl García and Abdul Mumin, who would have a big role to play in the game and would actually end up being named MVP of the match. Raúl García, though, here not given a penalty by the referee Alejandro Quintero González. Camello then played the ball onto his left foot as the first half progressed, but the Olympic gold medalist with Spain this summer was unable to hit the target. Has already scored this season. Sergio Camello scored on the opening day in Rayo's only win so far this season. 2-1 victory away against Real Sociedad, but he couldn't add to his tally there. Neither could Álvaro García as he dragged this shot wide. Some good play down the left-hand side. All started with Pep Chavarria, who was making his first start of the campaign, replacing the injured Alfonso El Pacha Espino. Chavarria, one of 4 changes that Íñigo Pérez had made to the starting 11 from the side that lost 2-1 away to Espanyol last time out for Rayo. Osasuna were definitely in the game in the first half, but Rayo Vallecano had up to 60% possession in the first half and weren't really looking too dangerous going forward. Again, it was Brian Zaragoza looking to cause havoc on the edge of the box, but he could only put his shot wide of the goal despite getting the better of Mumin. Osasuna, though, did take the lead out of nothing, really. A poor clearance from Mumin was then picked up by Raúl García with a lovely first touch. And how about that for a strike? Raúl García, his first start of the season, his first goal of the season, and he gave Osasuna the lead in Vallecas. Sergio Herrera with the long ball. It's Raúl García who actually helps it on. And then Mumin makes the mistake. And with the turn, Raúl García with a sublime first touch gets the better of Oscar Valentin and hits it first time. Nothing Augusto Batalla could do. And arguably against the run of play, Osasuna were in front. Still a brilliant moment of individual quality from Raúl García. Rayo Vallecano were looking to react, but that goal really did leave them quite shell-shocked, at least until half-time. Camello would again try his luck on his left foot. It was a tame effort straight into the hands of Sergio Herrera. Rayo Vallecano, who had lost their last 2 matches coming into this one and hadn't lost 3 on the bounce since February earlier this year, back when Francisco Rodriguez was in charge last season. Andre Ratti was very lively throughout proceedings at right back, pushing forward constantly. His cross here was well dealt with. Then it was Oscar Valentin who would find Camello with yet another shot on target, but his header not enough power on the chance. Images now, though, of the second half, and just 5 minutes in from a corner and a controversial call for a handball from Gumbau, Abdul Mumin scored one of the goals of the season here to make it 1-1. Mumin, who was arguably at fault for Osasuna's goal, redeemed himself by scoring an unbelievable strike, his first of the season and only his second career goal in La Liga. Not bad for a centre-half, hitting it on his left foot and smashing the ball past Sergio Herrera. Rayo, overall, as we mentioned, were the better side in the first half. That equaliser really put an extra spring in their step. We just saw the claim against Gerard Gumbau for handball. The referee said there was nothing in it, and therefore Mumin's goal did stand. Catena was unable then to give Osasuna the lead against his former side from that corner. But it was then Íñigo Pérez who made the first changes of the evening. Isi Palazón coming on to replace Oscar Trejo, as well as Jorge de Frutos replacing Adrien Barba. And it was Isi Palazón who tried to pick out Álvaro García. He went to ground here after being pushed from behind by Enzo Boyomo. Not enough in it for a penalty kick, though, said the official. Isi Palazón would then try his luck on his preferred left foot to pick out Ratiu. The clearance was easily made, but the ball would drop yet again for Camello, who would force a brilliant reaction save out of Sergio Herrera. Only had time to swivel and shoot, and yet Herrera was equal to it. Jorge de Frutos then was the next player to drag a shot wide, but at this point Rayo Vallecano already had many shots, more shots than Osasuna. Vicente Moreno's side really unable to get out of their own half in the second period, as it was just a wave of constant attacks. Unai López would then come on to replace Gerard Gumbau in the middle of the park. Gumbau, who was making his first start for the club since joining on loan in the summer. Sergio Camello would then lay it off for Isi Palazón, who almost tucked the ball into the bottom corner. There was a slight touch from Sergio Herrera, but the referee didn't really recognize it, and a corner wasn't given. A very close effort from Isi Palazón. You can just see there, he gets his fingertips to it, to Sergio Herrera. Raúl García was then replaced by Ante Budimir, and Aymar Aroz was replaced by Pablo Ibáñez, the first two changes made by Osasuna. Unai López made sure that the passing was much more attack-minded from midfield, which led to him picking out Pep Chavarria, and the left-back would find the right-back, André Ratiu, his first goal in Spanish football. And 25 minutes left on the clock. Rayo Vallecano had managed to turn the game on its head. Ratiu, the right-back, taking the shot from the edge of the box. It took a deflection off Pablo Ibáñez. Herrera got a hand to it as well. And yet the ball found its way in, and Rayo found the lead. Ratiu didn't score last season in his first campaign in Spanish football. Now opens his account. Rayo wanted more. Álvaro García was up next, but his shot would go just over the crossbar. Álvaro García, who scored in Rayo's last game, that 2-1 defeat away to Espanyol. Scored just 3 minutes into that one, but here couldn't pick out the top corner. Two more changes for Osasuna would follow, as Peña and Arnaiz would replace Moncayola and Rubén García. There was a lot of pushing and shoving in the penalty area, as this Brian Zaragoza corner would be played in. It straight to the hands of Augusto Batalla. Pablo Ibanez would then find Arnaiz, and his cross was met by Rubén Peña, no less. Sadly, it was over the head for Ante Budimir, so Osasuna's top scorer last season couldn't get on the end of it, but Peña would hit the woodwork, just the wrong side of the woodwork. Moy Gomez would come on as the fifth and final change to replace Brian Zaragoza, and James Rodriguez would enter the fray for the final 5 minutes to make his Rayo Vallecano debut. Sergi Guardiola would come on as well to make his second debut for the side from Vallecas. James Rodriguez, with his first touch of the ball, picked out Sergi Guardiola, but the striker was unable to pick out Jorge de Frutos. First touch of brilliance from James Rodriguez. In the final minutes of the game, Osasuna were throwing men forward and Rayo Vallecano were able to break on the counter-attack. 5-on-3. Unai Lopez was in charge of carrying the ball forward, but he was also in charge of firing the ball into the back of the net to make it 3-1 and secure all 3 points. He was the goal scorer in Rayo's last home game against Barcelona, and with this strike, he scored his second of the season and is now Rayo Vallecano's top goal scorer this term. But it meant Rayo win their first 3 points at home this season as they got the better of Osasuna. And what a strike it was from the Rayo midfielder. 3-1 was the final score in Vallecas as Rayo beat Osasuna.